Alright people, so welcome to the second ever edition of the Ruthless Ranter's weekly news for, I believe today is the 23rd, let me see here, 23rd, yes, so it is. I do the news, the weekly news. I plan to do it every Thursday and just kind of compile the stories and the news that I think are the top things to cover. So the first story here is the DA, and by the way, I will put the links to all of the articles I'm covering in the description below. It's quite a few this time, more than it was last time, so you might want to check those out if you want to, or you could just listen to me talk, or you could do both, whatever the hell you want. So the first link, or the first news story here is the Department of Homeland Security is buying up a bunch of ammo again. They made a purchase for 62 million rounds of ammo. You could actually, InfoWars did a story on it, and that's the first link on here. You could click on it, and if you go to their news story, it actually shows the actual like receipt shit or whatever that shows that they did buy. I believe they bought like every year they're gonna get like 12.5 million rounds or some shit like that. My question is, why is the Department of Homeland Security buying up all this ammunition? I mean, what's the fucking point? I mean, I thought the military was the ones that are supposed to have the ammo. And you might think, oh, 62 million, I mean, that's not like it's a ton. But if you go to this Forbes news story here, which is the next one down, it says that Homeland Security has 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition. And that was back in, let me see when this, I believe this story was like, I want to say March of 2011, but this story happened a few years ago, so you got to think that they'd have more by now. I mean, they haven't used it on anything, have they? I mean, why do they need all this ammunition? I'm just dumbfounded by this. Why are these? It's my guess is it's to take away all the guns or all the ammunition, so there is no ammunition left for the guns. It's just crazy. And this isn't even, I believe this was reported on Fox too, that they have 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition. Yeah, the story was 3/11 of 2013, so it was just over 2 years ago. But anyway, I mean, again, they obviously did buy more rounds of ammunition, so who knows how much they have now. I heard on InfoWars they were saying like they have 3 billion rounds. I don't know what they have, but they have to have more than 1.6 billion now, right? Since they just bought another 62 million. So I mean, this is something to pay attention to, and it's definitely something that's newsworthy. But you're not going to find this on your typical media outlets. I believe it was on Drudge Report, InfoWars, probably some other few alternative media sites. But I mean, this is a big story here. Why is Department of Homeland Security buying up all this ammunition when I think that the military is the one that should be possessing the guns or the arms of the government for the most part. I don't get why Department of Homeland Security has so much. I just don't know what are they planning for? Why are they buying this? I'm just asking questions. Maybe it's a legitimate cause, but I mean, knowing the government, probably not. So I'm just questioning this. Next story here is there was a gun pulled down. I believe it was by Pew Research, and I'm sure, I think it was on a bunch of mainstream news articles or mainstream news sites. I just found the one off the Washington Examiner, and they actually displayed a chart on there that showed how much gun right views and opinions have changed in like the past 20 or 30 years. It went from being 69% of people think there should be gun control. It's like 69 to 30% favoring gun control. Now it's like a 55 to 45 favoring gun rights or some shit like that. A drastic change. Even though these corrupt gun grabbing politicians are trying to take away our guns, we are saying no. We are saying yes to the Second Amendment. And I'm so happy to see this, because the Second Amendment is one of the backbones of this country. We have it to protect not only against criminals, not only to hunt, but we have it to protect against a tyrannical government like what happened in 1776, or what's happened numerous times throughout history with, Adolf Hitler, Stalin, Mao, etc. That's why we have guns. That's the main reason why we have guns. And it says specifically in the Constitution, a well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Really pay attention to the last line, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And I can't get the article to pull up here for some reason. It's not loading. But I know it. That go look at the chart on this article. Pretty stunning, and it's pretty cool to see, the people kind of just rebelling against the system, and not really rebelling. I mean, you should, as an American, support the Second Amendment. It's in the Constitution. It's the backbone of our country. We were founded because we had guns to protect ourselves and defend against the British. So it's a very good news to hear that. I don't remember what the exact number was. I don't know why this isn't loading. Maybe I could find it somewhere else. But it's just very refreshing to see that more Americans are just supporting gun rights. It's very good news. So for some reason this isn't working. I don't know why. So then we have this vaccine story here. You get all this rhetoric and from left and right mainstream news sources, vaccines are safe, there's nothing to fear here. Well, uknews.yahoo, Yahoo UK News reported, and also it was on the International Business Times too, that GlaxoSmithKline had to pay 60 million pounds. I think they had it in pounds, but they had to pay a ton of fucking money to compensate for people of the swine flu vaccine. Oh yeah, I thought vaccines were safe. Apparently not. Apparently these people are getting, I believe it was like 1 million pounds or dollars. I forget what the exact amount was, but they're getting money because of apparently the vaccine caused harmful effects. So, and if you look, I also put a link down here too. If you go look at, this is on corpresearch.org. If you go look at GlaxoSmithKline's profile, they have a ton of fucking shit about them paying out lawsuits to people. It's just ridiculous. And then here's another one though. So vaccines, and this is why that we cannot have the government forcing us to take vaccines. Because of this shit right here. They could, let's say the government takes over vaccines and we have, the doctors of this corporation, giving us vaccines. Well, what if the government puts something harmful in it? Like they did with the black people and syphilis? What if the government has evil intentions like we've seen so many times throughout history? So why in the hell would you trust a lying, corrupt government to give you safe vaccines and protect you? When has the government ever done, maybe, on the local level, but I mean, if you're talking about the federal government, I mean, they very rarely do anything for your good. They claim it's for your good, like the fluoride in your water, but it's usually not. Alright, so I don't know why people would trust the government to do this. And this just proves right here. That vaccines can be bad. They can have harmful shit in it. And obviously, we have a right to our own bodies. Our bodies are our property. So therefore, forcing people to take vaccines is, in my opinion, unconstitutional. Because in the Constitution it says we have a right to life, liberty, and property. And you cannot take that away without due process. Well, so if you tell me I have to put something in my body, that's kind of taking away my right to my property. So I think even forced vaccines are unconstitutional. So again, why in the hell would you trust a lying, horrible, corrupt government that's done so many horrible things? You know, some people like to say, oh, you know, Cuba, human rights violations, all these countries have done horrible things, but they fail to look at our country and what we've done to our people in other countries abroad. You know, or foreign, right? Or abroad and foreign mean the same thing. What the fuck am I thinking? But anyway, they fail to look at the horrible things we have done too. They say, oh, you know, Cuba's done horrible things, which they probably, you know, a lot of these countries probably have, but we are equally responsible. We have done horrible things as well. I mean, maybe we're less responsible than some other countries, maybe we're more, but you know, maybe we've done less bad shit, maybe we've done more, but I mean, we've done a lot of bad shit too. So why would you trust the government to give you a vaccine? It should be up to the citizen to choose. And again, so this proves right here, vaccines aren't always safe, like the mainstream media has been telling you. Now I want to move on to Hillary Clinton acting like a normal citizen. You know, she's kind of roaming around in like a van that she called Scooby, trying to act all cute. She's flying in coach. So the first link I have on here is about the van of Hillary Clinton. It's kind of like a normal van, I guess. It's like a black van, and she names it Scooby. Oh, how cute, you know. And then this Fox News article, I think it was about a week ago, came out, and it said, you know, oh, Hillary Clinton flies coach. She flew in the coach and also carried her own luggage. You know, I think she's just trying to give the impression, oh, you know, I'm a normal citizen. You know, I'm just like you guys. You know, flying coach to make it seem like she, you know, cares for us or some shit. I don't fucking know. Trying to act like she's one of us, I guess. But then it comes out in the Wall Street Journal that, I believe it was like a day or two ago, this article was, that Hillary Clinton flew first class back to Washington. Oh, you know, how great, you know, is that? You know, she flies coach and she probably couldn't handle it. And I agree. You know, flying in an airplane is fucking horrible. So I guess she, you know, is done living like us or whatever. And then I actually went and looked up Hillary Clinton's net worth and Bill Clinton's net worth. Hillary was at like 20 million. Bill Clinton was at like 80 million. So yeah, I mean, if anybody believes for 1 second that Hillary Clinton, you know, is trying to fucking be like us or act like one of us, bullshit. So, you know, combined they have 100 mil. I mean, give me a fucking break. You know, if they actually cared for us, why don't they give some of that money to us? Why don't they donate to charity? You know, I hear there's you know, they have the Clinton Foundation. There's always scandals going on with that. I hear about all the time. You know, why don't they take this lump sum of money they have and actually give it to us? Or give it, not to me, but I mean to like poor people and shit. So, and then there was also a story I also want to say on the Washington Post about how Hillary got paid $300,000 and Bill Clinton got $250,000 for a UCLA speech or for UCLA speeches or whatever. I believe the link says UCLA speeches. So again, they're getting these huge sums of money. They're rich motherfuckers. And they try to make, and then Hillary's trying to make the impression, oh, I'm just like you, you know, what you know, it's just deception and bullshit and lies. You know, Hillary Clinton trying to, you know, appear like one of us, you know, oh, I care about, you know, you, bullshit. I mean, it's just fucking sickening seeing this bullshit. So now I want to move on to this article in the LA Times saying that breast cancer is, projected to rise up to 50% by 2030. Now 2030 is only 15 years away. And this just shows right here that, you know, there's a Susan G. Komen shit, oh, let's find a cure. And I did a video a while back exposing Susan G. Komen as a fraud. You know, I wouldn't say they're like totally corrupt by what I've seen. But I did show a lot of evidence to show that there are bad things that they do. But anyway, notice with cancer, it's never, let's try to fucking, let's do, they never push alternative treatments that are cheaper. They never talk about the things that actually cause the cancer in the first place. It's always, let's treat it, let's take all your money, and then you die in a few years. All right, it's never, let's actually fucking eat healthy foods. Let's be active and let's talk about the horrible foods like the aspartame that actually cause the cancer. No, it's well, once you get it, let's treat it, and there's nothing we could do to stop it except get a cure. The cure is the only way we're going to stop it. You never hear people talking about how it's actually caused. So that's kind of depressing. And yeah, so you think it's just going to rise by 50% because just out of the blue for no reason at all? It's probably going to rise because of the more unhealthy foods being, pumped into our body. Not pumped, but that we are taking into our bodies. The just lazy American public, just obsessed with phones, obsessed with video games, obsessed with the computers. And I want to make an effort in this summer, actually. It's just beginning to get springtime. I want to make an effort to do something outside like every day. Whether it be, shooting baskets, playing basketball, just by myself, just shooting, riding a bike, just doing something to get active and burn a few calories and just stay in a good, at least alright shape. It was fucking snowing today, and I even went outside and shot some baskets for probably 20 minutes, maybe 30, I don't know. But I hope when it gets warmer, I take some bike rides, shoot some hoops, just get active, and it's fun too, I like it, so. But anyway, again, so they're projecting it to rise, breast cancer. Again, this isn't out of the blue. It's because of the horrible shit that, that's around us. Like the foods, all this horrible shit for us. And we have to realize that, but the doctors won't talk about that. It's always, or like the people dealing with the breast cancer won't talk about that. It's always about, let's find a cure, let's find a cure. And I want to bring up one more thing. There was actually a study on mammograms, which are the things that detect for breast cancer, and it showed that women who got mammograms and women who didn't, there was no correlation between, I believe it was like deaths from breast. There was no correlation between that one group had more deaths or one group had less. There was no correlation between the two, really. It was pretty much equal. So we really should look at what actually causes breast cancer, as opposed to finding a cure. And we probably should have already found a cure. But again, if you look at the cure, just a few weeks ago, a story came out that they were going to treat cancer with polio. I remember reading a story a while back about how they found this thing that actually eradicated cancer in rats, I believe it was. But they even said that they're not going to fucking investigate it probably because there's just a lot of money to be made. And that's the thing. By treating cancer, let's do chemotherapy or radiation or whatever the fuck it's called. I'm not an expert on it. But I know that costs a lot of fucking money probably. And that gets the doctors rich. So a cheap cure like that, they're not going to want that because then their business, they lose a ton of fucking money. And money fucking is a big thing. Money, they'll be like, oh, no, that would never happen. Oh, fucking yes, it fucking would. I just went over, if you don't think that businesses just care about money, go read what was the company called? GlaxoSmithKline's file on corpresearch.org under the links for vaccine compensation links. The second link there. Go read that. Companies are corporations. A lot of them are corrupt. So yes, they would. All right. Yes, they would kill people to fucking make money. All right. So now let's move on to this link. This was ridiculous here. So this kid got in trouble, and I actually printed out this story here. It says state seizes 11-year-old, because it was just so important, I felt like printing it out. State seizes 11-year-old, arrests his mother after he defends medical marijuana during a school presentation. Clear violation of the First Amendment. So apparently, I guess this was from Ben Swan. It says, on March 24th, cannabis oil activist Shauna Banda's life was flipped upside down after her son was taken from her by the state of Kansas. The ordeal started when police and counselors at her 11-year-old son's school conducted a drug education class. Her son, who had previously lived in Colorado for a period of time, disagreed with some of the anti-pop points that were being made by school officials. My son says different things like, my mom calls it cannabis and not marijuana. He let them know how educated he was on the facts, said Banda in an exclusive interview with Ben Swan. Banda successfully treated her own Crohn's disease with cannabis oil. So again, and then it says that police apparently found 2 ounces of cannabis oil in her home. She fears that the state will now attempt to take her son away. She has a custody hearing on Monday. And I'm not sure if Kansas has has legal pot laws or whatever, but I mean, just the idea that we would, say, oh, you can't use marijuana. Again, this comes to the thing. We have a right to put into our bodies what the fuck we want. And I mean, especially if it's a fucking medicine that's been shown to fucking improve things that fuck up your health. Clear violation of the First Amendment here too. You can't fucking search a woman's house or a person's house. It was saying in here, the police showed up at her house to get a warrant or to search the house, and she's like, "Come back and get a warrant," and they got the warrant. Now again, I'm always saying you got to get a warrant to search something, but it also says in the Constitution that you have to have probable cause. They did not have probable cause. All right. Just because the son speaks out defending medical marijuana does not mean that's not fucking enough evidence to search a house. Not even close. And this is just the draconian drug war at work here, people, corrupting America. Again, clear violation of the First Amendment. So yeah, it's just sickening here. To see this bullshit happening. I'm trying to find out if it says that Kansas legalized medical marijuana. I don't know. Maybe I could search it here very quickly. But it's just the whole war on drugs is just it's just a failure altogether. All right, let me search it here. Is medical marijuana legal in Kansas? And even if it isn't illegal, I mean, again, they didn't have probable cause to search for her house. This is from marijuanadoctors.com, I guess. Kansas medical marijuana laws. It says distribution or cultivation includes possession with intent to distribute or cultivate. I'm just going to search states that have legalized medical marijuana. I'm sorry this is taking so long, but a lot of times during my video, I just fucking think of things, I'm impromptu. It's not, my videos aren't too planned out. So yeah, but I apologize for that. State marijuana laws mapped. Alright, here we go, people. We're gonna find this out because I wanted to find this out. Kansas, where is Kansas? Yeah, it does not look like Kansas has marijuana legalized. But anyway, you know, so it is illegal, but I mean, that law is bullshit too. So, but anyway, still a clear violation of the First Amendment, and just an example of the draconian use. I mean, she used medical marijuana to her benefit to cure her disease, and they're punishing her for that and taking away her kid. Think of how ridiculous and ludicrous that is. It's just, even if she was using it recreationally, that's still a bad thing to do, but you still shouldn't be able to take away her kid. You know, this country is really in the toilet right now. And that's just an example. All right, now I want to talk quickly about McDonald's sales. Apparently, they're continuing to fall, which is a great thing. McDonald's is a bunch of garbage food. You know, I used to eat it. I haven't eaten it in like a year now, which is, you know, good for me, right? Yeah. But, you know, it's just fucking great to see McDonald's continue to fall. And if we keep promoting, you know, healthy eating, organic, non-GMO, etc., you know, actually natural foods like honey. I love honey because it's a natural sugar instead of just high fructose corn syrup or just sugar. You know, honey's a great alternative to sugar because it's natural. You know, get natural syrup, not the fucking high fructose corn syrup bullshit. But this is great to see McDonald's, you know, failing and go. And again, if we continue to promote healthy eating, and healthy eating has really exploded, it's starting to explode. You know, eating healthy, I think. Especially in like you know, like organic, and there's just a huge market for that now. You know, I hear like 20 years ago it wasn't even, you know, a thing, and now it's like fucking huge. So if we continue to promote this good eating shit, I mean, we could bring